Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Music Production Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Funk. Today, I want to talk about Jamuary. So, a couple weeks ago, we finished up January 2022, which was a challenge to make a new piece of music every single day during the month of January. It does not have to be a masterpiece, it does not have to be a totally finished idea, but the point is that you create something, you polish it up as best you can in one day, and you put it out and release it. I managed to do all 31 days this year. I'm super proud. Some years I don't get to do all that. It's very hard. What you learn by doing this is that you can, in fact, do it if you find the time, but it is still difficult. It's a challenge to make music, it's a challenge to come up with new things on a regular basis, but doing so is a type of exercise. You're exercising the muscle of creating music, and that's an important thing to do. And not worrying about the outcome of your music is a great way to exercise this muscle. So the point isn't what you get, the point is that you showed up and did it. I have to give a shout out to my music production club. The music production club is where you can get my latest stuff at a fraction of what it would normally cost. Lots of Ableton Live stuff, tutorials, packs, all kinds of good stuff. And there's also a community that goes along with it. And we've got this great Discord. And one of the threads was for January 2022. That thread had over 1,200 posts, hundreds of songs put by all kinds of people. And it was so inspiring. And there's so many days during the month where I thought I wasn't going to make it. And I went on that Discord and I saw the same people showing up, turning stuff out. And it just made me feel like I had to do it too. So one of the nice things about Jamuary, it's kind of like when you do a workout class with other people and you look to the person next to you and you realize that they're still going, they're still doing it, even though you want to quit. That's enough motivation to keep going. And what you discover is that you have more inside you than you originally thought. Your mind usually will give out before your body gives out. And that's a great way to prove it to yourself, because when you see someone else doing it, you decide to keep going. And it's the same thing that happens with January. And there were days I was convinced I couldn't do it. I even got sick for about a week and a half. No COVID, just regular sick, old-fashioned sickness. And it was kind of rough, but I managed to figure out ways to make something those days. Now, those days were much simpler. They weren't as involved. I was mostly just sitting at a laptop doing things with the keyboard and stuff. But I found a few methods to create something musical in a short amount of time where I could kind of deal with it. And that's good to know that you can do that too, because there are going to be days where you can't quite put everything into what you're doing, or at least the amount of time. And to come up with something on those days was great motivation for me, especially later on in the month when I felt like I didn't have time or the energy. I said, well, I did it when I was sick, so let's do it. And of course, the Discord on the Music Production Club Discord, that was so helpful. So thanks to everyone there. That was really inspiring. And now we're moving on to finish February, which is where we try to finish some of those ideas, even if it's just one track, and we try to release it. So it's just more follow through on this. And again, with the group mentality, follow the mob kind of thing, it's a lot easier than doing it on your own. Today, I just wanted to share some of the thoughts and lessons that I got from doing January. And that first one is the whole having a support system with you. So in making your music, it's great to tap into other producers, other people that are doing it too, so you can commiserate with them and go through it with them. It's hard, and I don't know anybody that thinks making music is easy. Even the professionals I talk to on the show, the people that seem to have it all down, award winners and everything, still struggle with this stuff. So you're not alone. It's great to have people. So find people that you follow on Instagram or whatever you go on, people you admire, watch them, connect with them, see if you can form communities of people. Feel free to join the Music Production Club and join that community. It's a really awesome community too. So take that, if nothing else. Working with others is a great form of inspiration because you're sort of held accountable. Obviously, in our club, no one is going to get down on you, and it's not going to be like an insult type of thing, but you will sort of feel that motivation because you're inspired by the work of others. That's a big part of this. One of the biggest lessons I took away this year was the idea of just seeing your ideas through. And by that I mean when you come up with something, when you're first starting an idea, usually as you're noodling around on your instrument or playing beats or whatever you do to start making music, you might do something that kind of catches your ear. And you say, ooh, I like that. And then you start to pursue it. See this idea through. because you had that spark of excitement about an idea of something you were making in its baby infant stage. Now, inevitably, you're going to get the feeling at some point that this idea is no longer any good. Know that that is going to happen. Be aware of it. Just consider it part of the process. Just like traffic lights are part of driving somewhere, stop signs are. You're going to hit these things, they're going to slow you down. If you're not prepared for that, it can then snowball into this feeling of self doubt and inadequacy, that you just can't do it. You're not good enough. You don't have enough experience. You only got lucky the other time you made songs. There's a bazillion things that will go into your head to convince you that you have a bad idea, B, that you don't know what you're doing, C, you aren't worthy of it, and D, you should get on with your life, do something more productive, be a grown up. I don't know. The list is endless. You'll think of them. You can let me know what things pop in your head when you're making music. I know all of these and more go through my head all the time. I have a good idea, I think. I'm playing around with it, and maybe the next thing I try doesn't work so well. And now all of a sudden, I think I don't know anything about music, and I'm not worthy of having even a note heard by another human being. You don't want to get there because it's very easy to get there, but you should know that you will. What I want to say really is that know that you're going to get there and just be ready for it and kind of wait it out just like you would a traffic light in your journey to wherever you're going. You know you're going to hit them. Just because you hit a traffic light doesn't mean you turn around and go home. It means you wait and you get through it. So notice it, recognize it, and just say, hey, this is part of the process and I got to get through it. It's important to give those ideas a chance and not be afraid of making bad music. Who cares? Especially in the Jamuary situation where you're making a track every day, and you sort of get towards the middle of it, and you made a few the last few days, and you know you're going to make some more in the next few days. You sort of lose the fear of making bad music because you know you're just going to show up the next day. This is a great attitude to embody anyway, because if you are making bad music, at least you're making music. You're getting the practice. And the same techniques, the same workflows often happen for bad music as great music. It's just, sometimes your taste doesn't line up with what you created, but you're still doing the same thing. So if you take an idea that you sort of like lose some steam on, but you still finish it, you got practice doing all of those stages of the production process, from creating to mixing to whatever you got to do, all the way to the end, to the bounce. You get a chance to do all that. If you give up on your ideas, you miss that, and you're only getting practice at the beginning stages. I really do believe this is why a lot of people, myself included, get stuck in the loop or the unfinished track place where you got all these ideas that are just not done. It's because we abandon them too soon, and we aren't giving ourselves enough practice at finishing tracks. The nice thing about Jamuary is you go through that process. Even some of the ideas I had that I don't think are the greatest, I still did through, the whole process. I started something, I created it. I like to start in session view, and I got it into arrangement view. I did some sort of arrangement, a little bit of automation maybe for certain parts, and then a fade out or something, and then bounced it. And I did all of that. I learned lessons from going through that part of the process, even if what I made wasn't really noteworthy and something I'll probably just never really pay attention to again. That's fine. But I got the exercise of making a track. I also saw it as a challenge. It's like, okay, I have this idea, something sort of struck me, and then maybe my steam is waning on it, but it's a challenge of, well, can I still make something of it? Can I finish it? Can I get through it? And for me, that attitude helped a lot because it wasn't so much about what I came up with. It's just getting to the finish line. It's kind of like running a marathon without ever intending to win it. You're just trying to finish it. So it became a challenge to just see if I can take this idea that maybe is mediocre at best and see it through and turn it into something interesting. And you start to develop a trust in yourself. I mean, think about it. You probably love music. That's why you like to make it. You're into it. You have certain things you like. You probably love certain styles of music that other people love too. And then you probably love other kinds of music that maybe very few people love. And there's probably a lot of kinds of music that lots of people love that you really don't care for. You have taste. You're a discerning listener. So there's things you like and things you don't like. So you can trust yourself that even if maybe the chords you made weren't so great or the beat you started with wasn't the most fantastic beat in the world, you can trust yourself that your musical taste will come through and you'll add something you like. If you like big bass sounds, then you'll find a bass sound you like. You'll create a bass sound you like. If you like catchy vocal melodies, then maybe you'll be able to figure out a cool melody over these chords that you didn't think were so great. I found most of the time the ideas improved, especially the ones I didn't think were that great in the beginning. They got a little bit better. If they didn't get great, that's fine, but they still improved because I took the elements of the things I like about music and put it into this idea. And eventually, sometimes really cool things sneak through. So in this process, there were definitely days where I was working on some stuff that I thought was going to be really great, but then, it didn't turn out so great. Other days, there was stuff that I thought was going to be unworthy of release. And it actually turned out to be something pretty cool because I managed to put in the ingredients of music that I like into these songs. So have a little faith in yourself. Know that you're just at the stoplight and you're just held up a little bit. A little self-doubt, a little insecurity is normal. It's part of the process. Trust yourself that you'll find something that will work. And even if you don't, so what? At least you finished it. I really experienced this a lot in playing with other people, especially when we're jamming, when we're trying to come up with ideas. And right now in the band I'm playing in, a 3-piece band, I've talked about quite a bit on the podcast. We're making our album. We're almost done. One more song to mix. The way we come up with songs is we just start playing with each other, playing a guitar part, playing a drum beat, a bass part. And a lot of times we sort of settle on like pretty simple things just so that the other people in the band can pick up on it fast and so that we're playing together quickly instead of trying to figure out like crazy intricate parts. We're just playing. And then slowly as we start playing, we start figuring out things that work. We sing a line that sounds good or make a change that's nice. And maybe we alter a chord after a while, or we change the part, we change the rhythm. We figure stuff out little by little, but we start with what's often, to me, stuff that sounds almost too basic to entertain. On my own, I probably wouldn't do that because I would think, oh, that's too simple. That's not smart enough. That's not clever enough. But when I'm playing with other people, you almost want to start there just so that everyone can catch on and see what's happening. And then you can start developing it, making it more intricate. And a lot of our songs that we have, a lot of our jams that we really like, that we want to turn into songs, started out that way. They were maybe almost a joke. Like, this is just a silly set of chords that you'll find in almost any song, nothing remarkable. But we play around with it long enough and it becomes something we like. It's just putting the work in, refining it, working on it. And that's the same approach I like to take towards Jamuary. Now, I'm not as good about this with my normal music making because I might not be coming back tomorrow to make a new song, and I didn't make 4 days in a row of music. But I find this is a good place to go. Start real simple, then add the intricacy stuff. Then see if you can build things more and more. You might start with the beat or the chord progression, and it might not be the most exciting thing, but maybe this is a song where the beat isn't the focus. Maybe this is a song where the chord progression isn't the most important thing. It might be the vocal melody that doesn't come till later. It might be the guitar part that you're going to come up with in the 11th hour. Who knows what it's going to be? But see it through. Give it a chance to happen. If you stop after that beat isn't exciting enough or that chord progression isn't exciting enough, then that's all you're left with. But if you see it through, maybe you find that special part. Maybe you wind up, a friend comes over and she sings a part and that makes the song. That connects everything. You just don't know. But seeing it through is the only way to find out. If I can give you one piece of advice for making music that has come out of 31 consecutive days of making music and seeing other people doing the same stuff, it's follow through on your ideas. Just see them through. Give them the chance. Don't let them sit in the world of possibilities. They could have been, they would have been, or give up on them. Don't turn around because you hit a stoplight. Wait for the light to pass. Wait for the anxiety, the stress, the inadequacy feelings to pass. and then keep going. They're going to come. Guaranteed. It's part of it. Just like stoplights and stop signs are part of your journey. But don't let them be the reason to quit. Power through them, see your ideas through, and you might very well come up with something you love. And if not, at least you've got more practice going through the process, so the next time you create something you love, you're better at executing it. Thanks a lot for listening. If you did the Jamuary stuff, please let me know. I'd love to hear what you did. And I encourage you to try to take some of those ideas and develop them, and maybe use February as a way to build further upon those ideas. Most of the ideas I had were half finished. Lyrics weren't really written. I'm usually like kind of just blabber things until I get melodies I like. So I'll try to refine some of those lyrics. I'll try to polish the beats. I'll try to make the transitions more exciting, and all of those little details that help bring a track to life. And that'll be some of my goal for February, and hopefully I can get something done. But if not, I'm going to go through the process, and if it takes to March, then it takes to March. But at least I'm going. I'm not stopping because of the stress, the feelings of being incapable, and all of that. And we just keep on battling, and worry less about what the outcome is. Worry more about putting in the work, following through on the work, going through the process. Because by going through the process, you will eventually get results. That's something you can control. You can't control what happens by your efforts, but you can control the effort you put into it. So thanks so much for listening. It's been great to have you. Have a wonderful day.